the computer inside. At light speed. Intel, the computer inside.
Intel was founded in July 1968 by American engineers Robert Noyce and Gordon Moore. Unlike the archetypal Silicon Valley startup business with its fabled origins in a youthful founder's garage, Intel opened its stores with $2.5 million in funding arranged by Arthur Rock, the American financier who coined the term venture capitalist. Intel's founders were experienced, middle-aged technologists who had established reputations. Noyce was the co-inventor in 1959 of the Silicon Integrated Circuit when he was general manager of Fairchild Semiconductor, a division of Fairchild Camera and Instrument. Moore was the head of research and development at Fairchild Semiconductor. By the mid-1990s, Intel had expanded beyond the chip business. Large PC makers, such as IBM and Hewlett-Packard, were able to design and manufacture Intel-based computers for their markets. However, Intel wanted other, smaller PC makers to get their products and, therefore, Intel's chips to market faster, so it began to design and build motherboards that contained all the essential parts of the computer, including graphics and networking chips. By 1995 the company was selling more than 10 million motherboards to PC makers, about 40% of the overall PC market. By the end of the century, Intel and compatible chips from companies like AMD were found in every PC except Apple Incorporated's Macintosh, which had used CPUs from Motorola since 1984. Craig Barrett, who succeeded Grove as Intel CEO in 1998, was able to close that gap. In 2005, Apple CEO Steve Jobs shocked the industry when he announced future Apple PCs would use Intel CPUs. Therefore, with the exception of some high-performance computers, called servers, and mainframes, Intel and Intel-compatible microprocessors can be found in virtually every PC. Paul Otellini succeeded Barrett as Intel's CEO in 2005, and 4 years later Jane Shaw replaced Barrett as chairman. She held the post until 2012, when she was succeeded by Andy Bryant. The following year Brian Krzanich became CEO. In 2017 Intel ranked 47 on the Fortune 500 list of the largest American companies. Intel net worth now. Intel's net worth is $200 billion. Intel grew out of a joint venture between two physicists and a venture capitalist. In the late 90s, however, the company ran into a combination of stagnant growth, slowed development, strong competition, and lawsuits from other companies. They restructured in 2005, and have since focused on a combination of microarchitecture and process development. The shift in direction proved successful, and over the last few years, they have begun buying up smaller, related companies such as McAfee and Infineon Technologies. They also recently expanded into mobile technologies, and opened a new microprocessor plant in Arizona. Intel currently employs 100,100 people. Intel's 5 biggest acquisitions of all time. Intel has made dozens of acquisitions throughout its history, many worth in the hundreds of millions, but only 5 have been more than $1 billion. Here's a quick look back at them. 1. Altera, 2015, $16.75 billion. Intel confirmed its $16.75 billion Altera acquisition on June 1, 2015. Altera specializes in configurable field programmable gate arrays, FPGAs, which are basically chips that can be programmed for different uses after manufacturing. They had become popular for use within servers and, with the decline in PC demand, represented a refocusing of the company's efforts on cloud computing. 2. Mobileye, 2017, $15.3 billion. Mobileye develops the visual smarts behind cars' driving assistance systems. Intel has made no secret of its interests in autonomous vehicles and had already partnered with Mobileye on other projects. 3. McAfee, 2010, $7.68 billion. Intel's paid a hefty $7.68 billion to acquire security software giant McAfee back in 2010, a deal that reflects that security is now a fundamental component of online computing, according to a company statement at the time. Intel is currently in the process of spinning out McAfee, which has since become known as Intel Security, as an independent company. This is part of a broader restructuring that will see Intel focus on data centers and the Internet of Things, IoT. 4. Infineon Technologies, 2010, $1.4 billion. 11 days after buying McAfee, Intel's paid $1.4 billion to acquire Infineon's mobile chip business. Smartphones were the emerging computing platform of the time, and the deal represented Intel's desire to evolve with the times. 5. Giga, 2000, $1.25 billion. Way back in the dawdling days of dial-up, Intel forked out $1.25 billion for Denmark's Giga, a company specializing in high-performance networking chips. Given that the Internet was still growing at breakneck speed, this deal represented a forward-looking move by Intel to support the emerging speedy Internet.